there, and we are here to discuss about CX today. And as we know, me being myself a consumer and a finicky consumer, I know how consumer behavior is changing because there are times when I select a few things online and then I think about, no, I'm not liking it. When I go to the store of the same brand and end up picking up the same stuff. So the consumer behavior is becoming finicky, it is changing, be it online, be it offline. They are expecting a seamless interaction from the brand everywhere. And this is the reason why the intervention of technology is coming into the play and the way AI is playing the role and changing the things and dimensions for the brands. It is really commendable. So we'll be discussing all the things in detail today, but before we start, I would request you all to start giving a small introduction of yourself so that we know who all is around. I know you have mingled a bit and I seem like a teacher sitting over here. So let's start doing it with Santosh with you.
Okay, this is the first time somebody is calling me a student. So I'm very happy to hear that. Secondly, my name is Santosh. I head business for Fresh to Home. I used to do advertising for Nation, and then after that I started. I was in Captain Net. I was global head for branding, and then I quit, and then I started my own startup, and then I sold it to Fresh to Home and joined.
Hi everyone, Rajiv Nirula from ServiceNow. I head the pre-sales for TMT vertical. Been with ServiceNow for about 2.5 years now, but within the industry, doing consulting, pre-sales, implementation of various products over 2 decades now. So looking forward to our conversation.
Hi, this is Balaji. I head business e-commerce in Indian Garage. I have experience of almost 15 years in retail, offline retail plus online retail. Earlier I was an Indian Garage, I moved to HU, and I was an Indian Garage right now. I'm taking business of full report right now.
Yeah, I'm Naga. I head the manufacturing and supply chain at Mumbai. I have over 16 years of experience in manufacturing and supply chain. I started my journey with Toyota. I was there for about 6 years, and with Amazon, I was a part of setting up the B2B operations in Amazon India. And I had my own venture. It was into consulting and didn't fly as planned, and I'm here. So,
Do I introduce myself?
Yes.
I think for this room I'm loud enough. Hi, I'm Rizwan. I have been in the customer experience for about 2 decades now. I led customer experience at Ada for 6-7 years. Then moved on to Ola, handling customer service. For the last 5 years with Travel, but I also take care of supply now for the last 6, along with the customer experience. I'll just add this. So your CEO is extremely smart. Because the last mile with customer service you cannot complain, right? Yeah, both of it comes to me. Right. One person answers or is always better. Exactly. So have to be very careful on the quality of acquisition.
Hey everyone, I'm Achal Sharma. I head the engineering in Wakefit. So Wakefit is like we are serving all the experience of home furnishing, mattresses, furniture, all segments in the home. Prior to that, I was with MPL for almost 5 years. Mobile gaming company. All fraud, experience, scale, everything. I have seen the journey. Like mostly I was working with the hackers, not with the company. And before that, Ampine and almost like close to 10.5 years was Mintra. So a lot of I think the big journey went in the Mintra only, where I have seen the entire Mintra from 5,000 rupees per day to 5,000 CR per day business. And along with this journey, I have done my 2 more startup also. So One was failed, second was successful, but due to COVID, it had to shut down, and third one we'll see in the future.
Kind of competitive.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Raj and I'm a founding product manager at Newbie.asia. So we are into fast fashion. You all know the fast fashion wave is going on in India. So we are building the vision of the company. So we are building a e-commerce for the new generation, right? And as we all know, e-commerce has been like it's the same playbook that Amazon has given to the industry and that is going on, right? But what we have realized, like it's a 2 years old company right now, and we are working towards the like new consumer class. What we have realized is there's a gap because this consumer class is a tech savvy. They don't like the normal e-commerce is boring for them right now, right? So they just like we have seen that also their consumer is uh, very much towards the personalization. They want attention. We are into Gen Z girls, so they whenever we launch something, it should be very connect. Well, they should connect with the platform. Like there are a lot of insights around it, and yeah, of course, like today, this is what we are also working on daily basis. Like we have a strong data science team. From the day one, we as a team has very core on the technology because we are not a normal fast fashion or fashion brand, right? We are into like for the new generation and we follow the trend. So this is the fast fashion where we need a lot of data. We need to predict the trend, what is going to come in the market, what users are going to buy, right? So we have a strong data science team, AI team, where they are helping us out optimizing the supply chain also because we launch thousands of design weekly. So we have a closed and we also remove some of that design because it's if we have the same designs, users might will not come to the platform because they are coming only because they are seeing new designs every day. And this is very personalized for them also. Starting from the user journey, we have like we ask for the preferences, what do they like, what sort of OTTs they are watching these days, what sort of OTTs they are working on. So I'll give you like example of like last year only. We have a model where we take the data from lot of sources like Instagram. We have influencers who gave us what sort of things are trending. Right? So last year only there was a show who all of you know is Coffee with Karan, right? So one of the top seller in our platform was the Kiara Advani dress. So Kiara Advani wore the dress at the Coffee with Karan. Our model predicted it this the search terms and all these things are going to trend at that time. So we were the first company, detected the trend, launched the dress in 2-3 days with the help of the manufacturer. The same, so little bit like we have launched a different combination of the dress, like it between black, red, white, and all those things. And all the dresses were the top seller because we beat it the trend. It's already trending on the Google search. We launched it. Users are coming searching on the Google. We ranked it on Google, and users are coming and buying. So that was the thing. These are the things that we are experimenting daily. We are like with the help of data science team, they are predicting the trend, we are launching it. Then they are predicting the demand also, how users are basically interacting with wish listing, cart, adding to cart, and things like that. And the second thing that I wanted to touch upon, because the topic is around the how generative AI or AI is helping us out in us as a brand also.
Can I interfere, Raj? Yeah. We'll discuss about things. This is introduction about.
Yeah, okay, I don't know actually. I just came, I thought the discussion is already started. Okay, sorry. I thought the discussion is already started.
No, we'll touch upon.
Okay, I know. So I'll just tell a little bit about me. I thought the discussion is already started. So, as I mentioned, I'm a founding product manager. I was the first product manager. And before that, I was working with Line Chat. It's also into the chatbot AI space, and yeah, I think I already do a lot of things. Yeah.
Good evening, Satish here from Brand Studio Lifestyle. We are a house of data-enabled fast fashion brands. We're one of the largest individual brands in each category on large marketplaces like Myntra and Flipkart. Like you look at men's casual, Armour and Highlander would be in the top three at any point of time. Tokyo Talkies, our Western brand, would be in the top two at any point of time. Vishnu, the ethnic wear brand, top three. And we've maintained this over the last decade. We've established in 2015. And we built this massive supply chain infrastructure that enables us to go from concept to consumer in a really short time and a cost-effective manner. I basically head digital creative communication as well as I head the D2C, which is a newer venture of Brand Studio, where we have all our own brands on our under one umbrella website and app. And recently, we started in February, but we're at a rapid pace of opening offline stores across the country. So we have 20 stores right now up and running across Bangalore, Hyderabad, Gujarat. More stores coming, targeting about 100 stores by the end of this fiscal. And I'm really excited to be here because I see that there are a lot of stalwarts here with a lot of experience that I can learn from.
Gaurav from ShareChat, I take care of all things monetization there. Prior to that, spent some time in the internet industry, managing India and Asia monetization for Google, Facebook, Snapchat. Also, worked as a software engineer in a relatively small company there called India. Keen to know ServiceNow in India, in real world stuff. So, keen to learn what's happening there. Like to be talking.
I'm Anirban Kundu. I'm representing Kimberly Clark today. My role is I am the global lead for analytics and user experience. So when this analytics means specifically customer experience, but I'm very glad to hear that would have been like the silo have been broken and a lot of people in supply chain and here in manufacturing, which is great because that was one thing. Always having a challenge of optimizing just the customer experience. So, and prior to that, I had been with SAP for a long time and IT technologies, which is working. So that's overall 24 years.
Hey, I'm Satish. I'm part of RedBus. So I get the customer experience for RedBus. So we had presence. We are the largest online ticketing platform. Besides India, we have presence in Southeast Asia, 5 countries in Southeast Asia, and 2 in LATAM. I think good to be here. I think we have a wide pool of people across the world. I think it's a great opportunity to share thoughts and learn the collective effort towards making successful.
Hi everyone, my name is Lavanya. It's a pleasure to meet so many people here and everybody talking about customer experience because I'm part of the customer and industry workflow team from ServiceNow. Today I'm going to walk you through a lot of information about ServiceNow, give you insights of what we're doing, especially NVIDIA and what ServiceNow is doing. In fact, seeing a lot of people from different industries, but all of us have a common goal, right? You have to make our customer happy. We also want to make you happy, so you make your customer happy. That's why we are here.
That's the end goal.
Yeah.
So before we start, I request you to take the charge and present the small presentation that you have.
For the stands, right? So I'm just going to take 15 minutes, give you an idea of what ServiceNow is doing. Obviously, we'll come back.
Mike is now.
So I'm just going to take 15 minutes of your time, give you an idea of what ServiceNow is doing. First of all, thank you all for coming here today. In fact, in spite of yellow alert and orange alert, and we were all skeptical about how much of us are going to meet today. It's a good thing we're all meeting today. In fact, as I was talking about, with our colleagues here about the rain and everything, what struck me is, we can definitely draw a parallelism between the downpour which is happening and the customer experience, right? So Bangalore, downpour, the next thing is waterlogging, then the traffic becomes 3x, and then things go slow, and then you get a circular, school gets a holiday, you have to work from home, and that day it's bright and shiny. So unpredictable, that's how customer expectations are also. Raj was talking about Gen Zs and Gen Zs, totally different type of customers. Expectation keeps changing and it's hard and fast. It hits us at any time randomly. It's always think that we are fully prepared for it, but then until it hits, I don't know how much we will handle that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I thought, today is going to be a rain, and I thought we'll not have this much people today, but luckily rain God helped us. So good, we are all meeting today. All of you know that customer service is the key. That's why you are committed to come to this meeting to have the discussion, which means, we all know that in the race, of course, all of you have your competitors and running in the race, but we all know that service is the one thing which is going to differentiate. Even if it's a product or a service, whatever you have today, your competitor is going to come big bang tomorrow. But what is that which is differentiating is definitely the service and how fast you're doing the service. So if you ask me, service is something new? No, not definitely. And door-to-door delivery new? Definitely not. It used to happen in my grandmom's age as well. She used to have a vegetable vendor coming in every day, taking her request, and then the next day she would get the order placed. The only difference is the patience and the loyalty has gone for a toss. So, like he was saying about the young people, and Charu was also mentioning about the changes and what type of she would see it in online and then go and buy it in store. So so that's how the customer behavior keeps changing. So how do we adapt to the changes? We can't go and say like the weather, you can't change the weather, you can't change the customer expectation. All you have to do is how fast you can respond to them and how quickly you can adapt your system to make sure your customers are happy. So that's what we're going to talk. And I said loyalty as well. We all know customer acquisition is one thing, but retention is more important, which means you need to make sure that the service and you make your customer happy, which is already happening. It's not new. But what is that change we're going to bring with AI? So AI, the personas in this whole system is going to be the same. The same customer, the same agent who's going to handle it, but how can we make both of their lives much more easier with AI? So that's the story which we want to talk about. But when I say this AI, there's obviously everybody talks about Gen AI, and it's sometimes a question of is it a real hype or is it really it's going to help? But then all these statistics definitely proves that there is going to be some kind of a massive change. I just wanted to point one of these numbers, while all these numbers are interesting, 3.5x return on investment is something which is being predicted by IDC. So, which means every dollar which you're spending on AI today is going to bring you that 3.5x at some point of your time. So, apart from those reports, there's one ServiceNow report which is very interesting, and I wanted to really bring this report today. Indians spent 15 billion hours in 2023. It was a very shocking number when we saw this report. I reread that report multiple times. Of course, it is 15 billion hours. While it could be across the industry, but still it actually shows two things for me. One is definitely there is a big market share for ServiceNow to go and approach. That's one thing. And then the second thing is, there is a lot of opportunities and there is a lot of services. While we talk about services, there is still a lot of scope for improvement. So that's where we're going to focus now. And this is the outcome of the survey. The survey says that the leaders come up with two choices. Either I don't think it's a two choice. Well, that is how the outcome is. It says that mediocre experience. I'm sure nobody wants a mediocre experience for their customers, but rethink the way the customer service is done. So that's where we're going to focus now. Obviously, services are done, but how do we rethink the way we've been serving the customers using GenAI? So that's where our focus is going to be. And While I'm talking about services, you all know that it's nothing, whatever I said is not new. You've been talking about services for quite a while. But what is ServiceNow doing in this space? Why am I standing here and talking about customer service? So if I ask someone what is, do you know about ServiceNow, the first answer people come up with is ticketing tool or an ITIL or their workflows, their automation company. That's what we've been known for. But platform of platforms, I'll come to that part which is key. Yes, of course, we're all of this, but we're not just this. We're beyond this. That's what we wanted to do, and we want to talk about that, which is something which we are focused on is the customer part of it, as well as the industry-focused solution. So in the recent past, we have verticalized ourselves. So we are industry focused. All what we're talking about services are industry focused solutions. So the most important, again, if you talk to any ServiceNow person, they will talk about platform. Platform is something tested and tried. Our companies are almost like 20 plus years old, and this is how we've been doing all our businesses for all the 20 plus years. A very strong platform. And everything what we have built is on top of the platform. So what do I mean by platform? It's so simple to say platform, right? So platform means whatever you see is one data model, one architecture, and we also do acquisitions. When it comes to AI and other things, we also do acquisitions. But all these acquisitions are not integrations. It is being re-engineered and re-platformed, and that's how all these comes as part of the platform. So if I say GenAI sits in the platform, and any future developments, any future upgrades, everything happens in the platform. So whatever you're going to see is the base platform along with the applications on the top of it. So the applications here are the customer and the industry workflow applications. It could be your employee-focused applications. It could be any type of applications. Today our focus is on customer service, so I'm talking about that. But again, this is just to give a view. We're going to have a 90 minutes of discussion of different topics. If you're not remembering anything, just remember this one slide, because ServiceNow means platform. Platform is our strength, our USP. On top of that sits all our application. So why are we different? What is that we're doing different from our competitors? So again, it starts with platform. Like you said, everything, including the AI, is built on platform. The workflows, the automation, everything is built on the platform and extended for applications and industries. So that is our primary difference from any of our competitors. So whatever features and functionalities we say might look similar to the others, but the difference is we are not integrating. So the most important one, GenAI, and if I don't talk about LLM, then it is not complete. So when it comes to GenAI, LLMs are enterprise grade. ServiceNow built LLMs. That is where our partnership comes with NVIDIA and other important ones. But then the point is, because we're talking about data security, governance, and privacy management, we're talking about not like a ChatGPT, any kind of questions could go up. It's all enterprise data. It has to remain within the system. So that's why ServiceNow comes with a pre-built LLM. And also we give an option to expose to your, if there is a need for an LLM which is built by your system, or if you want to expose it to an external one, that is also a possibility. But then what I'm trying to say is we have an inbuilt LLMs, which is where the partnership comes in. So 3 personas before I close this discussion. Our key focus is always on the customer, making sure that the deflection happens at the customer level. Not every request has to go to the agent. Obviously, how fast we can do the deflection, how efficiently we can do the deflection is where the GenAI comes in. And then the second one is agent productivity, making sure in one single screen you get to see all the information, including the agent assist, which means he gets to see what is the next best thing he has to do, how does he have to solve this problem. Everything is something which is available in one screen. And the third one is also your processes. How are you working on your everyday changes, modifications? Someone who's working in the background should also have the ability to do it much faster. So these are the 3 key personas we always focus on, and every features and functionalities are built around this. So some of the metrics, yeah, self-reflection, I will talk about it. The numbers here are very specific from GenAI based reflections. So with the last 1 year of our customers, this is the number which we are showing here, but it will definitely keep growing with more number of customers. So self-service, self-reflection, 20%, MTTR definitely, that is another one because we are focusing on the agent productivity. And the third one is how fast you can make sure that whoever comes again will get to know what has to be done. So all these are the three metric outcomes of this entire one. So two key takeaway messages. ServiceNow means platform. Everything is built on the platform. And whatever we're talking about as AI and GenAI is all built on the platform, which gives that credibility on the solution. And also that is another reason that our customer loves us because it is much easier when there is an upgrade to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavanya, for the wonderful presentation. So before we let Lavanya talk more, let me take the charge and discuss what you guys are doing. Starting from you, Santosh, I want to know how brands can enhance the CX for the consumers. What are you doing these days?
Okay, so is this what Fresh to Home, as you know, is
So primarily we're at D2C brand, so online as well as offline, and now we have started our journey through quick commerce as well. Amazon is an investor, so we are at Amazon as well, and plus last 2-3 months we have been doing with various quick commerce companies as well. So the reason is, typically you can see, right, 3% is basically, so in our efficient meat, or even if you look at fresh grocery, fresh F&B, for example, you will see only some 3% of people who are coming online. The remaining are primarily kind of offline. Right? One of the things, so we have 2 apps. So one is Fresh to Home. Crispin the answer, otherwise can go on now. So we have 2 apps. One is Fresh to Home. The other one is FTH Daily. FTH Daily is horizontal with all the, it's like big basket, but early morning delivery, subscription based stuff. So one of the things that we have seen is, so we do a lot of segmentation of the customers. So customers in terms of, so for food, especially food consumption, age, of course it matters, but then what we have seen is more practicality. It is basically customer regionalities, right? So, for example, West Bengal, Bengalis consume stuff very different from what, let's say, for example, Tamilians consume, right? So, that kind of a thing is an extremely important feed for us to decide on our products as well as communication and what time, etc. as well, and the kind of occasions that we can use, right? So, we use that for recommendations, right? So that we have seen in both FTH Daily and FTH Daily more, around 16% uptick in terms of the, I don't know, that is not AI, but that is, with respect to the data crunching and the kind of insights that we have been able to get from that. For on AI, what we do is, I don't know whether it's AI, but so we have a large sourcing mechanism, right? Based out of 1,500 cores and farms with around 4,000, 5,000 farmers. So when they bid every day, so it's like a live bidding that is happening, right? So there's an engine that basically takes care of all the bids, prices, availability, which goes, etc. Am I true now? Okay. Which goes, etc. And then there is some kind of a box that basically analyzes all the data based on the ranking of these kinds of vendors as well, right? And then puts it into the system and then say that yes, this vendor, wins this bid, based on just on the price, but also the past factor of the kind of quality and reliability of produce actually coming into the place and stuff like that, right? So those are the 2 examples that I can quickly think of, wherein we have one as a consumer example, customer facing example, and the other one is more of supply chain.
So that you told, you explained in a wonderful way, giving examples from your own brand. Satish, if I come to you, I want to understand the role of AI in transforming the CX for consumers and how are you adopting it?
So I think one of the most important differentiating factors, given that there is a survey of brands in the same space, let's say fast fashion, there are a lot of both D2C players, horizontal players. So one of the differentiating factors is definitely the customer experience, right? And customers do not care if you are a large scale, well invested platform or you're a homegrown bootstrap D2C brand. For them, the experience has to be seamless. It has to be positive for them to be able to, for you to be able to retain them. Right? So I think in terms of AI, we have recently invested in tools. We have yet to, quantify the results. Because it's just an initial phase. But the focus areas that we are implementing is AI for personalization. I think. As much as said about personalization is less because you can start with a cohort of 1,000, 100, or even a cohort of one with personalization. So I think because each customer expects that they are treated as just the main customer for that brand or that website. So personalization is super critical, but personalization can happen only if you can understand your customer, if you can bucket their behaviors, if you can predict what they're going to do, if you can predict whether they're going to churn so that you don't waste your marketing dollars on potentially churning customers or stop customers from churning. And of course, I think one of the main things, given that manpower as well as the cost of manpower for growing companies as well as the cost of just holding on to a customer is really high. So how you complete your last mile customer service, how you respond to them is very, very critical. So I think here with chatbots, with NLP, all of these are very, very critical pieces because without that, you can never handle the volume, the scale, the complexity of what the customer is looking for. And I think the sophistication is only going to increase because these are very, very early days, I would say, of AI, and already we have seen so much happening. But I see that the sophistication is going to significantly increase in the coming years.
So it is simplifying the journey for consumers.
Absolutely, yes.
There is not coming to you as I initially said that I'm a very flaky consumer. So if a brand keeps on sending me recommendations which I don't like, how do you think brands like you are using AI to personalize recommendations for consumers?
Okay, just not us, but I think all of us have to do a lot in terms of this. You leave the phone aside for half an hour. You come back and you see critical notifications on your phone. In fact, in-app notification is one of the worst tools for communicating with customers. Most of the time, it just doesn't even result in there are better ways to communicate with your customers. I'll give you a small example of what happened yesterday. I was only making my prep app and trying to do a web check, and I was not able to do so. And then I had to call the number. So I called the their support desk. The beauty of this entire conversation is that the gentleman who answered my phone, he was aware of where I was stuck or what was my activity on my app, and he did not ask for introductions, my problem statement. He started off by saying that I see you're facing trouble web checking. I was like, damn. And it also, depicts the importance of how your different communication channels should be integrated. Okay. We at Rapid have done some phenomenal work on automation of contacts, reflection, all that you spoke about, enhancing productivity. Not a long time back, we were about a 20% contact ratio. So for every 100 orders that we did, we had to answer 20 customers. Today, it is only 2%. Okay. So we have made that journey, from being reactive to today, being predictive. So we should be proactive, but we predict. So we analyze tons and tons of data, during the flow, right from the time you open the app to when you book your ride, then the driver comes to pick you up, and then when you are on the journey at different stages, we predict where can an expectation of a customer fail in this journey. For example, a route deviation, which would then eventually lead to a fare shock cost. So whenever there's a route deviation that's happening on the app, we know and we proactively communicate with the customer. Is it with your confirmation that this route deviation has happened? Are you alright? Are you want to connect with the police? Because safety is a part to what we do. But also we are solving a problem that would happen later because there is a route deviation, additional kilometers, more money to be asked, driver asks you pay me extra. So we are solving that in the journey itself, and not waiting for that to happen. So just one example of what we do. So your communication channels to be integrated, understanding where you are in your journey as a customer, and what could lead to a difference in expectation and solving for it. I think that is what is kept aside.
You have given your example, I would love to add to it. So a few days back, I went out for shopping and renovating my home. So I was looking for tabs specifically, but I didn't search anything on my phone. I went to a store, I was looking for it, went to another store looking for it. I don't know, my phone is smarter than me, it seems like. So it got to know that I'm looking for all these things, and by the time I opened my Instagram, bathtubs, taps, showers, faucets, I don't know what all was posted on me altogether. I would probably find if it had been customized as per my needs. So coming to you, I want to understand from you, Raj, how are you using AI to customize option for your consumers? Because customized needs would have been, could have been a different situation if I would have been given the things which I was looking for actually, and I would have bought it from there. But it was turning me off that place. So I don't understand.
So as I already mentioned, we cater to the Gen Z audience, and we have created an onboarding flow on the app. Basically, if someone is entering, we don't enter their journey entering the app, but in different touch point, we try to get the data from the user. Let's say, like I mentioned also, what's their interest in, what they're looking for, what's the need, because there are two types of consumers, like customers who are coming on a daily basis. Some are just coming for the need. They're looking for something, they want to buy it. And some are coming just to scroll, like what's new, just the impulse buying. If we able to recommend them the something, they will ultimately buy it. Right? So to handle this thing, we have a profile section on the app itself. They can create their profile based on their interest. There are a lot of parameters around it to understanding the customer. And once we have this data, and we have the data for all the users, there is a recommendation model where we customize the feed or maybe their card, their wish list according to their need. We nudge the users, like let's say this OTT is coming and you are interested in this particular sort of OTT, and we have the connection for it. So that is something that we are doing right now to customize the consumer's feed or maybe their card. One interesting thing was taking the profile data around birthday, around nicknames or something, right? What we have realized also, you don't need to give a direct offers or direct discount to users. If you give it like it will feel like it's common, like it's for everyone, right? If you just nudge that user with the customized coupon, what we started that we know that for like this user, but it's birthday and like coming in this month or next month, right? We started nudging that user with the name of like specifically the birthday coupon for that user, right? Or maybe the nickname, like if I know the user is high intent, she's going to buy, but she's just going out of the like cart and then coming back and all those things. We nudge with the customized coupon on the journey, right? So using the customer data only, we are just customizing the complete journey for the users, the coupons or maybe customizing a feed.
Please touched upon the customization. Balaji, coming to you to understand, when you give personalized customized options to consumer, does it help you converting them into loyal consumers?
Yeah, exactly. We do that. Actually, we show the consumer what is relevant to the consumer. We don't want to show the consumer which is not relevant. what happens is that engagement rate in the market increases. For example, if as a social media, we ask a lot of assets, right? Different assets are different type of consumer, different personalized ads. So our engagement, if you see, for Indian Garage, for as a page, Instagram page is 1.3%. In the industry, none of the apparel company has that kind of engagement because we show the right content to right consumer. So the content will be engaged and they will be engaged with us for a long time. That creates a lot of better conversion for us and it creates a lot of followers because we just started our Instagram page. It's quite that it was that for 2000, but we just started our handle proper from May of this month of this year. We just got 15K and we reached 97K till yesterday. Our journey was within this 3-4 months, we just able to get that kind of followers like it's like we get a right content to right consumer, right? We are able to personalize that. And we able to do that, we able to show the example someone coming from Coimbatore, for example. I will show you offline shot, because offline shots is more there. But someone come from Delhi, because I know the winter is they have started now. So I show more internet skill set, jackets, rather than showing the t-shirts, right? So there's a lot of conversion rates and consideration. If you will be engaged with them, quite sometimes their consideration rate increases by 25%. We just checked it with our own data. And we have our own AI tool which is called Chanakya. We developed for last 3 years. Just Raju was when we have to get introduced. The data which we able to predict our demands right. By predicting demands, the consumer get the right product at the right time. It's not that we get at the demand supply we are able to manage much better with our tool and we are able to personalize the offer to them. It's not that we not personalize that we have a regular consumer, we think the consumer say, then we are able to not achieve that scale and we are not able to get that kind of engagement right now.
We have been discussing about how AI is actually helping various brands and consumers understand, brands to understand the consumers and consumers to understand the brands. But actually, I want to understand from you. So, actually, I want to understand from you, what are the key AI-driven technologies that the brands have been using to enhance the CX? There are various technologies which the brands are using. So, which are those?
So, basically, there are several things, right? Like, for Wakefit also, like the customer experience is not only the one where the website and all experience like this. There are retail stores, so we have that physical presence in across the India, right? And there the people used to come and then this segment I think is very challenging segment because in online all you have the sentiments and a lot of things you can try through the AI and other experiences. But the one who is coming offline, you can't even judge the sentiment because what they are having in their mind that is something you can't read from the AI. So there I think you have to think through some other areas where you can address like how you are presenting, so basically how you capture the customer data, where individual interests are coming up, right? So that is something we are using some way where we are capturing those experiences. Based on that only, we are making sure whatever solution is good for them, we are suggesting that only. So it's just like a customized experience based on the real time. I would say like the experience from the case to case or customer to customer. So that is something is driving through that tool and other areas where our data is also really important because once you ask a mobile number to the customer, you will come to know their experience. So mostly the better experience I would say like the customer is existing customer. Then you have a lot of enough data where you can do the job and then you can tell your store guy this is something is the history where he came into that store and he found this thing and all and then similar things goes to the customer care also like in the online segment where based on the customer journey. So I think Google also is giving a lot of help towards identifying these areas, right? If you see Google search engine, right? I'm just saying example, I'm not saying they're using Google. So just say Google, if you go and search anything, next day onwards you will see that thing is coming in your all the personalized experience and all. And even the way you go, right, that is also really important. So one thing I think the good part which we can build or we can go ahead with the AI experience. Just example, so let us say you're looking for a perfume, which is coming somewhere around costing of 1,000 rupees, just example. Not looking for 1,000, but yeah. So that is there. Now, somehow the company made some additional discounts. And the discount policy always works not with the individual, with some categories, correct? So how your customer know if this entire category is having a discount now? So there is a trick here. Like you have that personal experience, that guy was looking for that X category, X item inside that category. And now you have a 25% off. So now you know how many folks in my this category, these are the SKUs, this guy, this SKU, this guy, this SKU. So you will target not the category, you will target the little SKU to that guy. A boss you are looking now it is 700 rupees. So in that way, it will be more personalized. Rather than saying you are off with this personal category, you will be in the individual interest. I think there the pitch will be very good because the customer is interested and then he will go more, he will not even look for other approaches and he will be fine with that. So just example, but I think this example can be implemented everywhere in all the industries and all, and I think based on that, it will be a good useful experience.
True that. And when you talk about consumers are not shy of giving the feedbacks these days. There was a time we used to go for offline shopping. There used to be a book kept over there or a slab book kind of thing, where we used to even forced to give our details and give the feedbacks. Now, once you deliver the wrong thing or the worst experience to consumer, they'll give you 1 star and they'll give a shout out to you everywhere saying this was the worst experience. And they're equally enthusiastic about sharing the best things. I bought this brand, they will tell their friends, I loved it, you also try. So coming to you, I want to understand from you, Satish, that when you talk about the customer feedback, how do brands are analyzing the customer feedback using AI and improving the sales?
I'll give a brief context of the ecosystem that we work with, then dwell on the question which Charu went on. So in a B2C environment, you typically have a buyer and seller, right? Co-promoted. Yeah. So when we started thinking about let's say GenAI, ChatGPT, and so on, so we were trying to look both sides of the spectrum, not necessarily the consumer side part of it, and start looking at what kind of challenges that we could solve for. So let me first take the seller ecosystem, which addresses some of the questions she had. So we have a, let's say, strong network of 5,000 plus bus operators in the country. Not all of them are, let's say, laptop driven or let's say highly literate in terms of seeing the numbers, reports. We can churn out tons of reports to them in terms of how their customer feedback is. So one of the things that we did is how do we use, let's say, the entire ecosystem through ChatGPT to do a, let's say, information chat, which is through Copilot, right? Some of them can't even, let's say, type, but I'm sure they know the business very well. So we created a voice-based, let's say, through GenAI, a voice-based system where they could put their queries and they could, let's say, give all the information to them. Somebody doesn't have to really go to a report to say that, okay, so for example, one of the frequent questions from the operator said, but who are my worst performing drivers? Now, if I have to go back and look at 50 services, who is rostered, what kind of services that they handle, it's going to be really a painstaking issue for a, let's say, entrepreneur who wants to focus on his business. So one of the things that we did is we did a pilot with about 50 operators where we completely moved it to a voice-based system, irrespective. I think we provided about 6 to 7 languages. We developed a system where the customer feedback, the driver feedback, everything was just available by just saying out what they need. And it really became instant because we have been challenged by how do you make these entrepreneurs to really go through reports, how do you make them to read where the problem is, which service need to be worked upon, what is the customer feedback that is coming. So that was one of the biggest challenges which we addressed, and that could really, I think, we'll scale the next couple of quarters. So that is one real example that I could share. On the customer side of it, I think just going by, I think I'm sure all of you are closely tracking on some of the AI-based articles that have come. There was a recent article on Economist dated 16th October, which talks about can artificial intelligence rescue customer service. Very interesting article. I'm sure all of you can read. It talks about some of the use cases, what are the challenges that are there. So when it comes to customers, one of the first thing that we looked at is it really going to help experience, or it is also having like a me too solution that we have because everybody is running behind you. So one of the principles that we adopted is if it's valuable, if it's giving a high return, then irrespective of the matter, that wherever opportunity, say one of the areas that we identified areas is what Lavanya talked about, deflection. Another area is largely about bringing contextualization. You call it as agent productivity as well. So that is one of the areas. The third area is I think what Charu mentioned about the entire ratings and reviews. And some of the other areas include can we really work upon automation of some of the things through GenAI. Right? So we parallelly worked on some of these areas. We had a mixed success. Some were really moved on really well, especially in terms of ratings and reviews. One of the challenges that we had was when any customer, I think any B2C platform, a customer gives a rating. Not everybody is fluent with English. I'm sure all of us in the room could write a nice review, irrespective of the quality of the review. But there are customers who feel that their English is not that great. The first thing that we address is how do you use GenAI capabilities to make that review right. When you make it right, there is a subsequent and downstream. You don't need to go and look at checking it, what kind of words does it have, grammatical errors and so on, which also give a lot of confidence in terms of the customers to share their reviews. Otherwise, they would not be very comfortable saying my English is not that great, and so that is one of the things that we did. So we also took away the entire manual part of somebody having to go through a review and then put it right. There could be grammatical mistakes. So this solved. Today, I think about upwards of 60% of our reviews are automatically done. We don't have somebody having to look for grammatical errors and so on. Completely it is done. There are still, let's say, a combination of English, multiple languages there, so somebody has to understand. Are there any profanity in the words and so on, have to look at. But eventually the goal has been moving from 0 to 60%. Right? We continue to work on. On the deflection side, I think we looked at some of the pain areas of customers. The biggest pain area in any mobility business is either avoiding a vehicle or let's say having to cab or let's say a bus and so on. So that is one of the biggest drivers. So we have been using GenAI in terms of looking at what kind of content intent is the customer coming. So one of the challenges that we had is customer used to reach out. Your self-help systems had standard menus, and then eventually it will get reflected to a person to speak. Now, the one thing that we wanted to get it right is, are we able to capture the customer intent right, which then can give a lot of inputs to product teams in terms of what really is the need, or maybe wherever the services need to be worked upon. So that is something that we have had reasonable progress. And the last area which I would like to talk about is something which I think Lavanya also touched upon, the agent productivity. We call it as contextualization. Even the example which Rizwan shared in terms of somebody knowing you where you are stuck, right? So we strongly believe by contextualization, by giving a lot of information to the person which he otherwise had to search, we are able to make the individual focus on the interaction versus having to search them, right? So that's a fundamental principle. So all our efforts through our, let's say, CRM or through GenAI is largely towards a journey in terms of contextualization. And I'm sure that journey is work in progress. So these are some of the areas, both from a product perspective and experience perspective, that we are working towards how to really make the difference.
Satish, thank you for sharing how AI is actually helping you increase the customer feedback. And also thank you for sharing how AI is helping take the job of the editors like us, helping consumers, taking the fear out of them that the English is good or not. Coming, okay, welcome. Zahir.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Zahir. Small introduction if you can give about yourself, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm extremely sorry for the traffic and traveling on your website. Okay. I'm Zahir.
Hello.
I lead the data and AI initiatives for Nozoto.com, one of the founding employees of most of the consumer experiences in AI, as well as a lot of operational software that we have built for scaling our real estate, as well as B2C products and services. We're the largest packaging executive in the country, we're the largest painter in the country, and a lot of associated real estate services. We build a lot of consumer experiences around them. We also have a complete B2B conversational AI offering called Conversation. I lead the product and lead the
Wonderful, Sanjay. We have missed a lot many things. So we discussed. We were having a panel discussion. We had a presentation also. If Lavanya will be, I can help you to run through it after the session, and you can interact with everyone to understand what they all talked about.
Sure.
Yeah. So now we're coming to you, touching upon the supply chain part, and to understand how AI helps in improving the efficiency of supply chains.
Thanks, Arun. Yes, of course. With the customer touch points, right? I mean, there's a lot of data being collected at different touch points with the customer, and also at different legs of operations there has been data being collected. How effectively this data can be utilized in improving the supply chain operations is something which, I mean, it's still a lot of work being done there. I'll put two parts to the equation when it comes to improvement. One is the customer facing, the other part is basically the operation intense activities. So customer sees is only three parts. I mean, whether am I getting the product on time? Okay, that's the fulfillment speed. Second thing is the quality, how good the quality of the product is. And the third thing is the engagement thing. I mean, I want to know when my product is on the reach. That's the supply chain part and the logistics part of it. So when it comes to the operations part, right, the major parameters are four, what I feel is important. One is the order management. The second thing is about inventory management and optimization, quality control, and lastly, predictive maintenance. That's about the missions and the equipment what we use in the facility. Order management, like majority spoke about personalization and also about what you say. The personalization is one part where we collect the data, capture the demand, and also the different types of filtrations what we have, right? Whether it is I bought this, so I will buy that. Okay, so there is always a connection to a product. Whatever, if I buy a refrigerator, then I buy a stabilizer along with that. So with this, forecasting the demand is improving. So with this forecasting demand, forecasting the demand and the accuracy in the prediction is also improving. With this, we know what to store, what not to. So managing inventory is synced to what we source. Order processing is improving. So I know when I have to fulfill a particular product or a project to the customer. Based on this, I can have a order inflow mechanism where I can push an order to my manufacturing facility, or also which facility to push. Okay, because I mean it's about line balancing and balancing the factories, connected factories around, right? That is the order processing part of it. Logistics upcoded basically turns into two parts. One is how efficiently can I manage my truck, okay, the truck utilization, and also the route optimization. So how quickly can I deliver to meet the customer's committed timeline? Okay, that's the logistics part of it. Move to the quality assurance and control part, right? I mean, this is the most required and the evolving space as well. So the quality of the product, when we try to evaluate the quality of the product, I mean today it is majorly in two parts. One is prevention, that is the detection and prevention, ensuring that the outflow doesn't happen. The second part is how do I ensure that it doesn't happen at the source. That's a built-in quality, right? So when we speak about the detection, I think right now, more of computer vision or AI generated cameras or something which we are majorly using to identify defects and all. I mean, that is still under development. So that's something which we would like to work on. And the other part to it is how do I use the data from the customer engagement platform to what we have, and how do I take this information, grasp this information, and collect the data at the source, I mean at the missions. Okay. Lastly, I would like to touch upon the predictive maintenance part of it. So predictive maintenance is something which is working at great rate, because I mean the advantage with predictive maintenance is there are already IoTs which are part of Industry 4.0 which is already being implemented, and taking data from that, identifying when a mission can fail, rather than a traditional methodology of just having a schedule saying that this mission will be serviced in the next 6 months, irrespective of knowing how long it ran and how much was the understanding of it, and not really knowing the available time of a mission. So these are the areas which I feel will improve the total customer experience as well as improve the operational efficiency within the organization.
Thank you, Nava. Hi, Fazia.
This is Fazia.
Welcome. I would love you to introduce yourself once, please.
Sure. I'm Fazia Abbas. I lead the margin and customer teams in cash fee payments.
I've been with the organization for the last 4 years. Prior to this, I was with startups like Neo Financial Solutions, with PhonePe and Flipkart. With PhonePe, I had the opportunity to start the sales team from the scratch. I carry over 2 decades of experience. I've been on multiple talks. I've been with shows related to AI, related to e-commerce and fintech. Right. That's about me. Thank you.
So I'll ask the question from you only. You have missed a lot many things. Lavanya will run you through a presentation post this thing. And what we have discussed, we can discuss with everyone once we have a post discussion.
Sure.
I mean, chat outside.
Sure.
Yeah. So my question to you is, can you please highlight how brands can actually streamline the customer experience across all the channels, be it online, be it offline? I told that I'm a fussy consumer. I want similar experience across all the channels.
Right.
But using AI,
Yeah,
how the brands are doing.
Yeah, I think the term coined is omni-channel. People really want that seamless experience across. When we are actually interacting, when we are shopping, or when we are actually going for a service, they are actually dealing with a brand. They do not worry about they going offline and picking up the product, or they are actually going online and having the same experience, right? So basically, what we look at is how is their experience when they're actually going offline. Is it going to be varied when it is online? They would want that, and a lot of it is to do with the supply chain now that are available, and making it really agile for the customers. So on both sides, right? One, on the user side, the demand is really high. People do not expect it to be only online or only offline, right? For example, I've come across brands and I was actually discussing. They actually shop online. The size doesn't fit in. What they do is they just go to a store nearby, which is associated to this particular brand. They drop it over there, and they actually see if there's another alternative, there's a different size, pick it up from there. You just have to say that invoice number, they've taken it and given it on, right? Another important thing that we need to notice is the brands are also getting very conscious about what is happening with the users, right? Earlier, it was very difficult to track how and what kind of user behavior, purchase behavior people have when it comes to offline, right? But that data was easily available in e-commerce. When I was with Flipkart, and Satish was also there and he was handling data then, what we used to see is that we were really information rich when it comes to retail shopping, people actually buying online. What category of products sell at what time? What demography actually picks up certain products or categories? This information was easily available and it was easy for us to position our offers accordingly. When it comes to offline, it wasn't that easy because people would walk into one store this time. Maybe they walk into the 10 store the next time. They wouldn't actually come here. They wouldn't actually come to a brand unless they found something really interesting and they want to look at it. Right? But that's not the case. But now with the omnichannel capability, what we are doing is go browse online, go right offline, pick it up from there, and move on. Or if you have to exchange as in the beginning of the conversation that I said, if you want to exchange, if you want to actually leave the brand, you do that. Now coming back to AI as a part, right? How does AI play a role? So there's something called as the affinity modeling that we used to do in Flipkart. What is affinity modeling is basically, this is a part of data science that we actually apply, and this is very common in every e-commerce thing, right? So, for example, you pick up a particular mobile, and the e-commerce website actually knows that you are from a tier 1 city. You are of the age group which is maybe 25 to 30 or maybe 20 to 25. Are you from that Gen X? Are you from the millennials? Right? It knows, and it knows the accessory choice that you would want to do. And they actually, recommend saying that these are the products that you may want to go in addition to the mobile internet. Now that is the simplest of the AI models that e-commerce sites are able to do, and they are able to do much accurately than what it was about 10 years back. Right? And I think this is going to go on and continue, and it's going to be far much closer. Nobody imagined that you at 11:39, and that was yesterday's experience. My son said, "So Papa, I forgot, I didn't order these books. I need this 100 pages, 3 books." I said, "Signal is a postman." The little one says, "Zepto." And believe me, 15 minutes is what it is. It's okay to pay that 50 rupees extra. Now you see what has happened 10 years back to where consumers are today. Today it has become that, round the clock. If I need something, 10 minutes now. That is the thought, that is the demand, and that is going to continue. And it's going to evolve, and the demand is going to increase what is. Thank you.
Truly said. I guess everyone is in favor of AI and telling how it is helping them improve the CX. I'm the customer, I'm still facing issues, I'm the one highlighting the problems. I would like to highlight one more problem which I faced with AI. So recently, I ordered milk through an app. I will not name the app right now. So when the milk got delivered, the package was leaky, right? So I raised a complaint. I was trying to raise a complaint, and it said milk delivered, not delivered. Okay, it ended. The conversation ended. I wanted to tell them it was delivered, but it got spilled over, but it wasn't taken care of. So I want AI to be more empathetic towards the consumer. So coming to on the same point, coming to you, Gaurav, tell me how AI-based interactions can be more empathetic and understand consumers' expectations and help improve the consumer experience.
I mean, honestly, we've all been through similar experiences in which the smart bots seem much dumber than any other thing we've ever interacted with, right? Personally, I believe it's a journey, right? I think it's the technology is moving in the right direction. Of course, a lot of us in the room would also remember how the dial-up internet back in the day could have been frustrating, could have been filled with misinformation even today, although or content which we didn't want to see. And then today, the internet graduated to a place where we all depend on it for a ticket to ordering milk, etc., etc. So I think when technology becomes a new normal, I think the consumer expectation of it being perfect also arrives quicker than it should, right? I think as the advancement in LLMs happens, AI will become empathetic, is what my strong belief is, right? The intent absolutely for all service and product providers will be to give the best possible service at the lowest cost. A lot of us will be in charge of the P&Ls with great, efficiency. I think is an important one in this, right? Because not only are you trying to give the best experience to your consumer or customer, but also ensuring that you're not spending inordinate amount of money for that. And I think AI enables that. I strongly believe that. I do not think it's there. It's maybe a 210 today, if you ask me, but I think they're in the right direction. in our company, we have two set of users, right? So one is, of course, there are these 250 to 300 million people who come to ShareChat and Mod every month, consume endless video scrolls that we call short form videos. And the other set of users that we have is the thousands of advertisers who advertise on our platforms. On hardly 1% or 5% of them at max are actually spoken to by the sales team, right? The bulk of them actually realize the importance of the platform. If you're an SMB advisor in Kerala, you're selling oils, chances are you'll come to our platform, do a 10,000 rupee credit and start advertising. And those are customers who no one talks to. But these are advertisers, right? They make a lot of my business. I think on both these fronts, on the core user front, the users of the social media, their experience, I think we have been, as a company which is catering to billions of hours of watched video on the platform every day, AI has been actually the core of it, right? We are as good as the next recommended video. If the video recommendation is not good, there is no reason why anyone will stay on my platform, right? There are tons of American companies, Facebook and Instagram, X and Snapchat or whatever, right? So on that front, I think AI has been the very core of it, and the user behavior is very explicit and very loud. We come to know instantly the user experience is not right, because it will show you your data from an engagement number to the drop-off rates to how many scrolls they did, how many videos did they watch, did they like, did they share, etc. So that's where I think we couldn't have been where we are without the use of AI. Well, I think the latter front, which is more saying these are our paying advertisers, and how do we actually ensure? I think there, we need to do a better job, because today it is haphazard, today it is manual, and if 5 years later this business of the number of advertisers were to scale by 5x or 10x, then it isn't possible. And that is where I think the empathy in AI will be very useful, because remember, these are people who are paying to advertise, and they're used to a model traditionally wherein B2B sales people talk to you, right? Like, at some point all of us end up talking, but in a scale business where you are paying to a platform to advertise and no one is talking to you, it could be frustrating. So I think that is where a lot of AI personalization could be really, really powerful.
So, as Gaurav touched upon the customer segmentation, Anita, I want to understand from you, how do you segment your customers in different baskets, and how are you using AI for it? How it has helped the brand that you're looking after to build a better customer service?
Yeah. So before I get into the segmentation, I'd like to take one input from presentation Lavan mentioned, that 3.5x is the return expected from AI. I think, I don't know, maybe what I see here is companies which are really at the leading edge. But if you look at large global corporations, I'm not sure if they are realizing that value. So it's still, I would say, an elusive part. Now, what we have done is, and I'm pretty excited, what I got to hear from that is, though the topic was customer experience in AI, now what we realized, and one of the things was, we always need an integrated approach. Yeah? Because you could have the best marketing, you could have the best engagement in market execution, but ultimately, if there is an out of stock, if you're not able to fulfill the orders, so you end up with a pretty bad experience. And that's why I'm pretty interested, what I mentioned about the on-time service, the supply chain, and also you mentioned about the last mile. Yeah? So now, given that, now coming to our context, yeah? So what we realized is, we are actually a 150-year-old company, yeah? And it's like we are operating in 175 countries, and we play in a very commodity category. Yeah? If it is like personal care, baby care, feminine care, and adult care. Yeah. Now, what we have is we have a segment. Various segments have various needs. 175
countries from developed to developing, and and then like tissue. How do you differentiate tissue? What is a recall? I don't know pretty much here. Anybody would before choosing a tissue or a diaper, how many have like okay, which one do I go for? Yeah. Now what you see is that translates to that then what is the pricing power you have with such a product? Right? Then you need to see okay how customer experience. Now what can a CPG company like Kimberly start leverage? Now here comes that what we are talking about the personalization. We are talking about millions of brand interaction and social media. Everybody is like talking about the power of one and all. Now we just flipped it. We said power of one. Let's have one story which is viral, which we can push the boundaries. To give an example, this is a feminine care category. Yeah. Now, how can you push the boundaries on your brand? How can it actually get the feminine care on the main stage? Now, that develops the loyalty. Can we use, what will be that story from your millions of interaction which pushes, and you have one story which becomes viral. Yeah. Now, just to contextualize this, FIFA World Cup 2022, everybody, has the memory of what? Messi lifting the World Cup. Yeah. But there is an alternative parallel story. Anybody can let me know? I just mentioned about the feminine care. Maybe that's a junction. So, any guesses? Any record which you think which happened during the FIFA World Cup 2022?
He lifted more women than
No. So this was the first time where there was an all-female referee team, which was in the match of Germany and Costa Rica. Yeah. And this is like pushing the boundaries. And there was a very phenomenal advertising which we created with Ogilvy. This was about a real story of a lady called Leah Campos. Now imagine today we're talking about Gen Z and the behavior and other things. Now, how do you actually use your brand to push the boundaries? Now imagine in 1967, there is a very powerful advertising. It's available in YouTube. Now, which says, Leah at that time, today an ambitious girl, says, I want to be a football referee. What do you think would have happened in 1967? Yeah. Now, how do you bring that story? How do you bring that? What were the challenges? How do you challenge the patriarchy? How do you challenge the persistence and tie it to a brand promise? She finally became the first woman referee in 1970. Now that was powered because there's a backstory. It was sponsored by it ties to our product, the Cotex. Yeah. So what we are saying is how do you identify this one story, the power of one? Now when you get that, and then how do you have the perfect execution? Yeah. And when you're talking about this execution, you're talking about which channels do I land, with social media, what kind of engagement, and then also it brings like the brand promise which we are giving, and the brand promise and what tiers of products you could have. So this is like what, and then obviously tying it back to the supply chain. So this is where what we are using is also to have actually build the loyalty. So when you are talking about a product, so a product which is a commodity, but actually bringing a powerful story and having a recall and pushing the boundaries that the Gen Zs today, this was just one example. We have been launching such stories. Now it resonates with you. You want to have this particular product. And then there's an example of how when you're tied with this, now then you experience and go up the pricing ladder. Yeah. So you have a brand architecture, you have multiple products, you start your loyalty with one particular product, and you experience okay, what are the other avenues I do have, and you rise through the price architecture, and that's the segmentation we have, and then we get the data, which finally reflects in our, we very well manage this in terms of the pricing. At what particular price range are we selling our products? and ultimately then finally tying it back to that will be my product. How are you getting emotional? Yeah, because everybody loves the storytelling piece of it. So how you are emotional, how are you trying out the product, you get hooked onto it, and then you experience and get into the higher tiered products which we have to offer, ultimately resulting in the benefits of the top line. So that is the story.
Very beautifully explained. Zahid, coming to you, I want to understand from you the future trends that you see in AI that are going to further revolutionize CX for customers.
Check. Alright. I'm a hardcore techie by the way, so I'm probably doing a lot of tech challenges there. Currently, if you look at how consumers interacted with digital products, say you're looking for a house on the you are essentially filling a bunch of inputs. Say, I need a house in Colombia, 3 BHK, 50,000 budget. Click, 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 and you get a bunch of recommendations. But where we are right now is generative AI enables us to build truly conversational interfaces. So recently, we really piloted some kind of a virtual agent, a virtual city expert, where you can essentially talk to like you're talking to a virtual broker, right? And the experience look like, say, I'm looking for a house, I work in Sajapur Road, my wife works in Kornula, my kid goes to school in Arnur Road. Can you give me some recommendations which reduces my commute time cost? And then it picks up an ideal location, then it recommends some properties based on your budget. It sends you a WhatsApp with a property, right? And then you chat on WhatsApp back saying that, can you show me some options with naturally lit areas, right? And then it has understanding of image, metadata, image data has been described in natural text in the background, it does a retrieval, and then it sets recommendations where you have very natural language. There's this kind of conversational experience now you can build with generative AI. This is about how consumers interact with your digital products, but you can also imagine when customers reach out to you for support. Coming to the same example which I mentioned, let's say you ordered a milk on a platform and then you got it spoiled. When you reach out to the business, you have to edit to it, you will not deliver and so on. Imagine having a pre-contact virtual assistant where you pick up the call and you have a human-like empathizing virtual agent which can understand what's your issue and probably resolve the full issue in the call. It's probably just a refund. Right? That's pre-contact. Let's say Charu orders again and next day she gets again spoiled. Right? Now the virtual agent may not be the right way to address it. You may need a human being. And then you have agent talking to the customer. Child is really pissed off because she's getting a spoiled for the second time. Probably she had a subscription on the app and then she is really complaining about it. Then you have a human being who is talking to the customer. Now that human being is fresh into the company. He or she doesn't know how to interact with this particular customer. And then imagine having an agent assistant system, right? A system which assists your agent, suggesting like a teleprompter. Charu is a repeating customer, probably with the system for almost 3 years now. You should probably give better coupons, discounts. That coming from a knowledge base. Now let's say you have completed during contact, pre-contact where AI has probably resolved, during contact it has assisted the agent to give better quality support, and then post-contact, probably your organization has 500 people handling customer support, and your management has zero visibility on who is performing well, who is not performing well. All kind of post-contact analytics, right? Where AI can come into the picture. So these kind of end-to-end CX automations, AI can add value, and a lot of it is something we have been working internally with a lot of applications. And a lot of consumer experiences is also something which technology is really there. It's all about plugging and binding together to build consumer experiences for end business.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was a wonderful discussion. I love learning about how you are helping the brands, how you are helping the consumers improve their experience, and what new is going to happen. But before we take this conversation, I have given a see. He's giving me hints again, Lavanya. So let Lavanya take the charge now, and she has a very interesting activity planned for all of you. I'll take a break. I'll go and drink some water and maybe smoke also. So I will she will take a inside from here. And I'll catch you again.
Okay, I know it's dinner time already. I won't take much time again, but we need to do a simple activity. Probably. Okay. So it was very interesting when you all shared your views. I very well relate because I talk to a lot of enterprises. I talk to digital native companies. I see a lot of difference. There's a lot of innovation here. There's a lot of interesting use cases which we get. You start thinking about how do we solve this problem. So there's definitely a lot of difference. I got to learn a lot of things today. But there's one thing which I want to do as part of this exercise is you all said that your customer experience is definitely doing what it has to do. But let's do a small assessment for that and see where do we stand. It's completely for your view. It's not going to be discussed or something. But I just want to share a questionnaire and run through it and see where you stand at this moment. And also later stages, not immediately, but we'll come back with the responses so you know where exactly you stand in the customer experience, which we're talking about today, and especially with AI. And it was very interesting. A lot of people already started talking about Gen AI. I thought I'm the one who's going to introduce Gen AI here. But then you're already using Gen AI, which is very interesting. So that's what we want to evaluate. How many of you are using AI? Is it predictive or Gen AI? How efficiently are you using it? It will give us an idea. It will give you also an idea of how you're using all the systems. That's the idea. I'm going to just share the questionnaire. I don't really want to give an idea about what it all means, but two things, because today's discussion is all about AI and changes which AI is bringing in. Obviously, when there is change, there's always opportunities and risk as well. So, think about your opportunities and risk with the changes in AI. And with that in your mind, let's try and work on this assessment. It'll take 10 minutes to do this assessment. There are 4 blocks in this. It starts with customer experience, the process and tools which you're using, and the people and culture behavior. And then the 4th one is the system tools. Yeah. So before you start, I just want you all to write your name and your organization's name so you know who's doing it.
This is a very interesting, assessment that we did, few weeks back, and also we can do this for the customers or the enterprise level as well. We were in a room where we had, I would say 15 people, but out of that 15 people, there were quite a few people from the same organization. When they did the assessment, they were sitting on a different table. They had scored differently. And again, it was quite surprising. One of them scored towards the highest level, and the other one was, at a lower level. Yeah. One would be a tech guy and product guy, the other would be the operations guy. Yes, absolutely. See, the idea is that when you break down your organization, you're actually servicing, utilizing these 4 pillars, right? Customer experience, people and culture, processes and workflow, and that's where I think the core bread and butter is. And also the system and tools. And a lot of you, come from that background, what tech savvy, you've seen businesses grow. You would have seen that a lot of point solutions are available in the market, right? And you're able to also develop some of these processes, workflows on those low-code, no-code, and different technologies as well. I think this assessment will give a fair view in terms of how the processes are actually leveraging the tool and how you're using those workflows to deliver services to your customer.
It almost felt like an exam. You have a timer there. 8 minutes it's counting down.
But we had this exercise time for 15 to 20 minutes, so we still have.
That is just put on that is of the same feeling.
Yeah, but again, when you put a timer, you will not be able to introspect. So the idea is to make you feel you're introspecting on some of these core areas. Don't think too much. Yeah, right. But again, that's another one. Don't think too much.
So the best way is try to you just figure out the pointers. So the filling this long form is the best possible way. You need to only understand the top 4 points. What is 0, what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, what is 4. Once you understood, then you can answer your questions. Because you have in your mind, you have to rank 1 for 2 or 0. I did that.
What is actually interesting is actually you filling the form and then some of your customers actually filling the same form. Being able to correlate that would be
exactly. And for some of the customers, some of the partners and the customers have done that with us. Because see, these kind of assessments, you may find it online. When you go to a CMMI maturity level, you will have some different templates available. But the idea is that what we wanted to do is basically to make it more contextual for all of us for this conversation. These 4 pillars are absolutely important. And so what you're going to do it is after this workshop, we will also have a personalized report. We will summarize it for you and then send it across individually on your email address, so that you get to see, what's your average score, where do you, rate yourself, where do you rank yourself against others maybe as well. And yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is from the previous workshop, just to give an idea how it, you see, customer experience, we all spoke about it. I know everybody's on to it, actually talking about different types of it. People and culture, everybody wants a change, that is also good. But where the problem started is, what is that backend you have? Is it supporting what your vision is? So that's where the processes and workflows and systems and tools are built, and based on which we gave the maturity level for each of your organization. So this is just a sample. We are yet to analyze your reports, but then something similar will come up.
And then most of you, you are working with those organizations, you're very keen. Because you've spent a lot of effort in terms of developing products. I don't know how much of you are looking at, third-party products rather than building your own products, in-house. It could be a combination of both. But at the end of the day, what we've seen is the last box, the system of the tools, is absolutely a disintegrated environment from an architecture perspective. And again, if the integrations are also there, but the data flow, is absolutely a challenge again, where you will start investing on people, again, developing more solutions, creating complexities around it. So with ServiceNow, what we help our customers is to simplify by creating a system of engagement and system of action, where you're able to, I think Rizwan was mentioning about the omni-channel, and so I think you will also mention about, there's a point term called omni-channel experience. It is absolutely important now that all of us as an organization, we are delivering services, whether internally or externally, we should look at the omni-channel experience. And with ServiceNow, we've been able to do that. As Lavanya mentioned, we are a system of platform. The reason we are saying a platform is we're able to integrate all of your data sources and have a seamless experience for your processes to execute, as well as experience for your customers as well.
So based on that, this is the maturity level also. Again, this is a different report, not relevant to this. But then this is how the report will come in. So have you started adopting it, or you're leveraging your AI in a better way, or are you leading in that segment? So this is how your maturity report. Okay, what next is we've taken your assessment, we'll come back with a response. That's one thing. We also have we had a good interaction. We did take a lot of use cases from you as well. We have our details left you. So any details, I mean, like you want to discuss, whatever you wanted to discuss, we are all sitting here to help you. So talk to us, get to know more about AI, what ServiceNow is doing in AI, and also we'll have an interactive session. Today's session was more of high-level customer experience, but what is ServiceNow doing in customer experience is something we can deep dive into a discussion for them.
We can request for a demo.
Yes, absolutely.
So how much time is appropriate organization for your services?
So typically it would depend upon demo could be from 30 minutes to 1 hour. But again, I think we wanted to make it more contextual. So, a pre-meeting before the demo would be really helpful to understand, what's the use case, what the problem that you're trying to solve. We just don't want to say yes to everything that, a problem that you have, we will say that we will solve it. No, that's not the case. But we wanted to make it more relevant to you. So, of course, if you're able to give us time in 30 minutes in terms of understanding what your use case is, and maybe connecting with some of your team members who can give us more details, and then we can prep up for our demo, which could be more contextual.
To be very honest, I've been experienced that for working with kids. But this questionnaire actually made me think about it is all about connecting different teams, different partners. It's about how well are different teams talking to each other, leveraging information, and actually developing the basically knitting all the systems, knitting all the people to actually drive an experience. I think that is what I was able to capture from the question. Very interesting. Thank you. I definitely like to know more.
Perfect, thank you. And this was the idea to basically open the eyes. And also, the reason of putting this question is not to tell what we do as a service now, as an organization, or what problems we could solve. The idea is also to give you an insight in terms of what could be those areas that you could go back and fix for yourself.
I think a lot of the organizations work in silos. Product team is always feels that we are different than the people who are doing services. And the talking doesn't happen enough time. While the talking happens, nobody actually anchors it in a way that the experience is taken to the next level. Leaders on both sides should think about this. And these are efforts, these are systems and processes.
So, I wanted to close.
Hi everyone. Once again, thank you so much to all 13 of you for making it today. I think the weather gods have really been with us. But this was a really insightful session. It really helped that all of you are from very diverse backgrounds. But I think crux of it, all of us are here to serve our customers and make their day better and make our day better instead. Some of the themes that really came about in today's conversation was that I think from an idea of, like for example, one of the themes that came out was that, as customer support teams, sometimes we blame operations, we blame somebody in supply chain. So this is actually where I did want to leave you with a message that this is what ServiceNow does best. While many of the competitors of ours lay in the model of the front office, what ServiceNow does extremely well is stitching your front office to your middle and back office, which is your operations, your finance, your factory, and all of that. And that is something that we want to take an opportunity to show to you. The second thing that really came about was this room knows AI really, really well. AI has been, it's been around for a decade. In fact, even ServiceNow has had AI very well embedded in our workflows over the last 10 years. But Gen AI is a different ballgame altogether. We partnered with NVIDIA, like Lavanya mentioned. We have very strong Gen AI as part of our customer support. Not only does this make the day better for your customer, but ultimately for your agents as well. So two of the things that we're really looking at is how can we help you, elevate yourself in terms of brand loyalty, your customer service, your current ecosystem. What are some of the gaps in it that we could perhaps help you? And we love to do this over a workshop. So our next step would be that we would have our teams reaching out to you. You could schedule with us. We'd like to do a short workshop of understanding your current environment and showcasing where ServiceNow could add value. We're very humble, but we have a lot of global companies that trust us, especially in the sphere of customer support. And we'd love to have many of you, we'd love to serve many of you in the same manner. Thank you. And the bar is now open.
Yeah,
sorry. Is it again louder?
Yeah, from ET side, I would love to thank you, all of you, for coming in. And please join us for 27.